Good evening, Mount Juliet. It's Sami Kincaid with Deputy Chief Tyler Chandler. And right now we're driving around on Lebanon Road. We're going to show you a little bit of what the roads are looking like right now, road conditions, as it is starting to get a little darker out, but the snow has calmed down a little bit.
It has. We are looking at the radar. Our last little bit of the snow is moving through, but not much change in the road conditions. Again, it's so cold. The plows are doing what they can do. The public works teams laying the salt, trying to do what they can do. But you told me earlier, Sammy, that the salt and the brine really doesn't work below 18 degrees. And right now it's 14 degrees out. So we see vehicles out and about driving. They're mainly the four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive vehicles. When we encounter someone who is stuck or can't make it up a hill or who has ended up in a ditch, it's typically your two-wheel drive cars. They just can't navigate through this slick, hazardous mess that we're dealing with. But it's definitely cold. It's definitely frozen, and we continue to be out in it just to be sure that everyone's okay.
Yeah, we went live earlier giving some updates, and there's been quite a few more disabled cars since. But at that time, Deputy Chief said there were 52 disabled cars that
Earlier today.
the police had helped, but far more. A lot of civilians have been helping each other get out. So it's been great seeing everyone help each other as well with the road conditions. But I'm going to flip it around so you guys can see what Lebanon Road looks like. We're coming up on WA Wright and Green Hill High School, just so you know where we are.
You see some vehicles are traveling faster than others, some slower than others. The best advice I can give for folks if you have to get out is definitely have a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive car and just take your time with it. Of course, we're in a four-wheel drive police package Tahoe right now. It's low to the ground, has heavy weight in it with all the equipment, and it's getting through just fine. But I'm not going to fly by a bunch of people who are out driving because some people are more comfortable than others who are driving in the snow. And when cars get close to them and fly by them, it really makes them nervous, and they may make erratic movements. You know, when we have a bad weather, bad roads such as this, you just want to take it slow, have patience, and take your time with it. You know, you just, if someone's going slow, stay behind them and do your thing. It's the polite thing to do, but likely the safest thing to do, because if one of those vehicles begins to slip on the ice and lose control, you don't want to spin out into another car. It's easy to spin out and go along the roadside in the ditch into more snow, but when you're striking objects or other vehicles, that causes a lot of damage and money, and insurance has to get involved. So whatever you can do to prevent crashing into other cars when you're out and about, do that. And the main thing to do is just take it slow.
And earlier, I went live. I was riding around with Corporal Kamer, and we were talking about how this is a 5-lane road. You have the 2 lanes on each side, plus the turn lane in the middle, and you can't see any of those lanes right now. And we even were turning around earlier at one point and hit a curb. It's so easy because you can't see where the road starts and ends on either side because it's just completely covered. So just make sure you're staying safe if you do have to get out.
Yeah, right now I'm traveling 25, 30 miles per hour on a 45 mile per hour road, and you see some folks here driving in this truck, and one of the passengers is doing some type of motion outside the window, but it is what it is. And now, also, as we're talking at the South Mount Juliet Road on-ramps to I-40, I have 4 officers are tasked to several vehicles that are turning around because they cannot navigate the on-ramp because it's so slick. So what we'll do in that moment, we'll get all the vehicles off the on-ramp and then call TDOT or our own public works teams to come out there and try to plow some more, try to lay more salt down, do whatever we can to make that ramp more passable, easier to navigate for vehicles. But again, you can only do so much when it's this cold, and all this stuff is just packed snow, ice that we're dealing with. One thing, we need to talk about, Sammy, is the snowpack on vehicles.
Yeah.
You want to clean all of that off. It becomes harder and more frozen
as it gets colder, and it's going to be harder for you to get off over time. But when you do finally leave and drive around, that will become one big solid sheet of ice and will fly off. And when it flies off, it will fly back into the car behind you. And when we've had snow like this in the past, I've seen some terrible accidents, especially on the interstate, where that ice pack on top of vehicles has flown off and struck the windshield of other cars going through the windshield and even injuring the occupants of those vehicles. So please, before you get out and drive in this, clear the snowpack off your car. You want to take it off your windshields all the way around, your side windows, rear windows, and also all on top, on the trunk, on the back top of your vehicle, and also off the hood. And it's best to do it now that the snow is stopped while that snow is still soft. Over time, the snow will go through cycles of melting and freezing and become that hard, solid sheet of ice. So do what you can to clean it off while it's easy. I've seen a lot of people take a leaf blower and just blow it right off. That's a nice, easy option, but you can also take the different snow removal tools that you can buy anywhere and take it off that way too. Just be careful you don't scratch your paint if you're using a broom or something.
Yeah, no, that's a smart idea to use a leaf blower. John Cody said, "Do y'all sleep?"
Yeah, we do sleep a little bit. I was able to sleep last night. Got home about 1 a.m. and I don't know. I probably fell asleep around 2, 3, and woke up about 10 and cleaned the driveway and got to work about noon today and we're out and about in it. But when you serve the community, when you serve others, it's a fulfilling job. It's a job with a purpose, and I love what I do. Sammy, I know you really like working with the city and being able to share all about the good work that our different city teams are doing. But when you work for the city of Mount Juliet, a community that supports your law enforcement, all of our officers really do a good job. And there is a guy doing all kinds of, I don't know if that was on purpose or not, Sammy.
I don't know if that was on purpose.
Just over the line in Nashville and just spinning all out. They're going a different way. That's probably a good idea for them. Got a little out of control for that one, didn't they?
Yeah, we're right at the Mount Juliet Hermitage line. So I'll turn it back around here in a second, but
turn around over here at the Quick Sack.
So
back into Mount Juliet. Of course, when you're turning around, you may think you have plenty of room to turn in front of vehicles. Just want to give extra space, extra time. You may get stuck or slide in the snow or ice and not be able to get out of their way in time. And they obviously can't stop in time because they can't slam on their brakes in the snow or ice. So take it slow, get plenty of room between others. If you're crossing traffic, be sure there's plenty of distance between you and the other cars. Seems like as it's gotten darker, more cars are out and about.
Right.
You notice that?
It does seem like a lot more cars, especially compared to this morning whenever
sure.
we were driving around.
Thankfully, though, there's an update earlier where we gave all the different statistics about what we've been responding to. No one seriously injured today. No major crashes since the snow event began. Which is almost 24 hours now at 6 o'clock. That's going to be our 24-hour mark for the winter storm. That's just good. Everyone's doing what they can for the most part to be safe. Public Works, they're still out. They'll be plowing soon again.
That's what I was going to say before we saw the cars stand out.
There you go. Let's talk about Public Works.
Yeah, whenever we were talking about people that aren't getting much sleep right now, they have about 8, 9 air mattresses at their shop right now where they're taking turns trying to get some rest. But talk about some crews that are really working around the clock right now to try to make sure the roads are as safe as possible. They're putting in a lot of hard work right now.
I'm thankful for them because if we didn't have
them working like they are right now, no one can get out in the city at all. Thankfully, some cars are less able to get out and about. We were talking earlier about what restaurants are open. We're driving by the LOK Corral, Mexican on Lebanon Road, and they're open. We saw Jonathan's is open and ML Rose. Yep. Restaurants open this evening. What else did we see? Waffle House, of course.
Yep. Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel as well. So there's a few restaurants open. I know some were open a little bit earlier today. Most have closed at 4, but it looks like some are still open into the night. So at some point, we're going to go eat, refresh. I think K9 Citron and Officer Brown are going to join us too. So that'll be nice. Maybe we get a little video of K9 Citron playing around in the snow. That'll be neat to see. And when we put that post out, we'll just say, hey, tag your dog snow pictures.
Yeah.
Yes. I know my 2 little pups, they love it. They're running around like little rabbits hopping through the snow, darting all over the place.
I got a video from my parents on their farm, and their dog is running all over, jumping through the snow, having a good time with the donkey.
Nice. It's a big dog, right?
Yeah. It's a great white Pyrenees.
Okay, that's a good farm dog.
Yeah.
Look after the goats and the donkey. We're still on Lebanon Road, and we were talking earlier too, Sammy and I, and this is the main road that gets a lot of car traffic and a lot of attention from the plows. You can see it's completely covered, so you can imagine what your secondary and neighborhood roads look like. All the roads throughout the city look similar to this. Of course, your neighborhood streets are going to be a little bit worse, and your secondaries after that. We get the questions about, what about this street? What about this street? What about over here? Folks, it's all the same. We got the same amount of snow all through the city, which is about 8 inches of snow from most reports, 7 to 8 inches. And it looks all the same. And it's going to stick around probably till Wednesday when the sunshine comes out. And it's still going to be cold Wednesday, but the sunshine will give some radiant heat to the different surfaces like our roadways and heat those up, which will allow some melting to occur. And you'll really see the different snow removal teams being much more effective once that snow comes out. We're just floating on down the hill, approaching South Green Hill. That intersection will be around Green Hill High School.
Have some sledders over to our right.
There you go. Yeah, a lot of good sledding snow, I think. Good, fluffy snow to thick snow. Did you have to do any driveway shoveling with the snow today?
Thankfully, I did not.
I did. So I could get out.
I saw my neighbors across the street. They were out bright and early, and their driveway looks fantastic. I needed to recruit them.
Sure. I need to try the leaf blower on the driveway.
That probably would be.
It may work. Of course, you have a red light on a hill climbing down, so you don't want to wait last minute to brake. You want to slow down way beforehand, so in case you do brake and begin to slide, you don't slide to the cars ahead of you. Nice controlled stop, slow roll. Take time to clean off your windshields or windows. Your license plate's always important. The car in front of us, the Subaru Outback, they have a snowpack on top. Eventually they'll need to get that off so they can get to be on the interstate and go quickly. That will fly off and potentially damage vehicles behind it. Same with this Lexus SUV going by. Big snowpack on top. Take a little bit extra time to get that off. It may take you 30 more seconds just to get that snowpack off and be safer for everyone on the roadways. That won't be a sheet of ice flying back and hitting cars behind you.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know one place we've talked about having a lot of problems is Mount Juliet Road, right by the I-40
Right.
entrance ramps. But we did just get a question about I-40 east and west. I'm not sure how the interstate's looking particularly.
Yeah, the best way I can say it, we haven't had any incidents on the interstate, so that's good. That makes me think that they probably have a lane or two that's navigable with your vehicle. TDOT's out there plowing as well, and when we drove over the overpass, I could look down and see, and traffic's flowing. So in our jurisdiction of the 8 miles of interstate that we've had, we haven't had any incidents out there the whole 23 hours we've been in this storm. Of course, just take it slow, stay with that flow of traffic, and you'll be fine. Again, vehicles that we see that are doing well are the four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive vehicles. The lightweight two-wheel drive cars are not doing good at all in this.
That was one of the other questions. Is your vehicle all-wheel drive?
Yeah.
And right now we are on Lebanon Road, right at the Speedway, right at the Nonneville intersection. Headed back towards Mount Juliet Road.
And at home, folks, they say when it gets really cold and snowy, there's the 4 P's you got to look out for: people, your pets, plants, and your pipes. So be sure to leave that water on a slow drip or flow on your different faucets that you have, so your pipes don't freeze up. You want to be sure your water hoses are disconnected from the outside spigots. I also cover my outside spigots with the insulation caps. And any, of course, plants, hopefully any plants you love are already covered up or inside. Definitely your pets. Watch out for them. Hopefully that person gets the picture that the lights are off. Well, didn't figure it out yet. And with pets, if you notice any pets that are outdoors for an extended period of time with no shelter, please give us a call so we can check on them. And people, if you are aware of any elderly, any friends, people in less than fortunate positions, or those experiencing homelessness, please give us a call so we can check on them, make sure they're all right. We have resources of a text from Galen Wilson. She operates Wilson Rides that provides rides to the elderly at a very low fee, a nonprofit she operates. And she was aware of a resident who did not have good heat. She called around, and Sheriff Robert Bryan was able to help her. And their scan program has heaters available, but he just had an extra one at his own home and ensured that he got that heater to that gentleman who just had one heater going. He really needed another so he could be good and toasty at his house. He was able to get that backup heater to him. That just shows we're all just looking out for each other. But anywhere in Mount Juliet, Lebanon, Wilson County, we don't want anyone to be cold or suffer from anything. And there's a lot of great organizations out there like Compassionate Hands, and all they do during the winter to ensure the unhoused are kept warm at their shelter. And we have other options as well. Many local faith-based organizations, churches, and missions to help those who need a little extra warmth or food, whatever it may be during this. When for us who are fortunate, right, and have the means to get out and have food and get our medications, that this doesn't seem like such a big deal. But for those who have more complications or disabilities, who are maybe a little bit less fortunate. This is a big deal for them when the roads are not passable for a lot of vehicles. And we want to be there for them to help them in whatever capacity that we can. And it's simply a phone call away to our dispatch center, and they will connect everyone with the right resources. If it can't be helped by that dispatch center, they will continue to escalate that up, and eventually I'll get a phone call. And if I have to escalate it up, I can escalate it up even further, and we will get help to someone if they truly need it.
Absolutely. And now we are on Mount Juliet Road. There's the middle school. We are passing.
Temperature's still holding at 14 degrees. That's cold.
And it's cold. And with the wind chill, it's going to be even colder tonight. Feel even colder.
Yeah, absolutely. We have about 12 to 14 officers out working. It'll be about 12 to 14. The day shift is about to go off duty at 6 p.m. and a new shift will come on then. They'll be serving throughout the night until 6 a.m. Be sure they're taken care of too. Just got a call, came in about car off the roadway, Saddlewood at Park Glen Drive. Thankfully, no injuries. Some new drivers were in it. Apparently, since teenagers were driving it. So, likely issue is lack of experience there in driving during this weather. Officers going to go check it out, make sure they're all right, and do what we can to get them out of that ditch.
Well, we will continue to keep you updated throughout the night on roadways, road conditions, and like Deputy Chief was saying, we'll have dinner here soon with K-9 Officer Citron,
Yeah.
and post some, maybe hopefully get him playing in the snow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some fun content of that.
Yeah,
So
something to look forward to later is K-9 Citron blazing through the snow.
yes, absolutely. Well, appreciate you joining us, hanging out with us as we show you the roadways. See you later, you guys.